Life in the Armed Forces.
Hi there. In this series we've been finding out how London is right at the centre of our armed services. The Army, the Royal Navy, and not forgetting the Royal Air Force. They all have a presence in our capital city. But it's not just those in active service who make their home here. London is also home to some very distinguished veterans, the Chelsea Pensioners. Today we're going to find out more about them. Come on! The Chelsea Pensioners are retired members of the armed services who live in the Royal Hospital in Chelsea. Now, it's not a medical hospital, but rather a retirement home for these veterans, and it's a very impressive building with a very impressive history. Around 400 years ago, during the reign of Queen Elizabeth I, it was recognised that poor, sick and disabled soldiers needed to be looked after. If they didn't have any family, then life was especially hard for them. A new law was made for people to be taxed, and for this money to be used for those that had served their country and needed help. In 1681, King Charles II ordered that a royal hospital was built for all of those broken by age or war. A famous architect and landscaper, Sir Christopher Wren, was commissioned to design and erect the building. A site was chosen near the River Thames in the countryside of Chelsea. These days the area is, well, a little less countrified, but back then it was a very peaceful place. Work was completed in 1692 and the first Chelsea pensioners were admitted, a total of 476. The Royal Hospital is a place where soldiers can live and have the company of others who have similarly spent their lives in service. There's also an infirmary, so if they become poorly, they'll be looked after. Anyone over 65 and who has served as a regular soldier, has no dependent spouse or family who finds themselves in need and who is of good character can apply to become a Chelsea pensioner. Long wards house the veterans and each has a small room to themselves. There are also grand dining halls and special rooms which were designed to be used by visiting kings and queens. There's plenty of activities to help keep these veterans sprightly, from bingo and gardening to film nights, pottery and a bridge club. The Chelsea pensioners wear very distinctive clothing, so although you might think you don't know what a Chelsea pensioner looks like, they are pretty hard to miss. Although Chelsea pensioners can wear normal clothing within the hospital and the surrounding area, inn pensioners are encouraged to wear a blue uniform. If they travel farther from the Royal Hospital, they should wear distinctive scarlet coats instead of the blue uniform. The scarlet coats are also worn on ceremonial occasions, accompanied by tricorn hats. That's a hat with 3 corners. In uniform, the pensioners wear their medal ribbons and the insignia of the rank they reach while serving in the armed forces. It's not just around the Royal Hospital that you'll see Chelsea pensioners. They are regularly invited to represent the Royal Hospital at high-profile events such as the National Service of Remembrance and attend special events such as charity fundraisers and sporting fixtures. Just like Queen Elizabeth believed, many people today agree that looking after our veterans is important, and the Royal Hospital is a great example of that, right here in London. If you would like to find out more about the Chelsea pensioners and the Royal Hospital Chelsea, then why not go on one of the daily walking tours or visit the museum? Find out more about life in the armed forces at funkidslive.com/armed forces. Catch you next time.
Life in the Armed Forces.